only need a certain amount of time of sex, and that sex is like, so many minutes of so many minutes of like so many minutes of, reverse cowgirl,
That when you first you're like, it looks like she likes it. But your girl's like, ow!
Like,
spinning
what
a
are
set.
you doing?
I don't know. She liked it in the.
She liked it in the movie I saw today.
But
don't get your education from porn. I would always suggest start out with some communication and comprehension with your partner and find out how she likes it. Like, how can I get my girlfriend to squirt like you? And I'm like, first of all, is she even turned on? Like,
the reality is that the porn that you're watching, it's
aggressive.
It's a movie.
It's a movie. It's done at a grandiose scale because it's what gets clicks. Yeah, we'll do a video for your friend. Not that type of video.
maybe stay tuned.
You never know.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got the one and only Alexis Fawx in the studio.
I am in disbelief.
I know.
For real. I can't believe it. I told my friends about it. I remember when I put the story today. I'm like, ask questions, whatever. So he goes, "No way is she gonna be on." I'm like, "Yes way."
Excellent.
Yeah,
we'll take some more pictures afterwards.
Yeah, we'll do a video for your
Yes.
friends.
Yes.
We'll totally do a video.
We'll do for sure.
Not that type of video.
Maybe stay tuned.
You never know.
Watch till the end. Alexis, thank you so much for joining us. And I had reached out a couple of months ago, and I just wanted to. It was a long shot. I figured, let me reach out and see if we can get her on. You were like, let's do it. Hell yeah, I'd love to. And I told Chris, I was like, yes.
When he sent me the screenshot, I'm like, no way.
I know. Thank you guys. Thank you for having me on.
No, we're honored.
you.
And we've been talking a little bit before off camera, and I realized that I made absolutely the right decision by asking you to come on because you had said something about humanize.
Yeah.
Right? Humanize. Obviously, you're in the adult film industry, but a lot of people maybe they come across your page or they hear the name or the title or whatever, and they kind of make their own assumption, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, that's why we wanted to bring you on and kind of put light on the life outside of the cameras and the lights and all that stuff like that, and kind of get to know who you really are. Yeah. And so that's kind of what we're here for.
That's beautiful.
You like that, right?
Yeah, I know. I feel like I missed out. Like when you told me she had got here, I'm like, damn, I know that Marvin is going in on the questions already.
And I did tell her, I was like, this is good.
Same thing with when we had Nima on, remember? Because I was driving for like 30 minutes. So we had a guest on earlier, and then I had driven him over here. And the whole time we were talking, I'm like, oh my God, I wish Marvin was here. And then I was like, oh my God, I wish Marvin was here. And then as soon as we get here, we start talking about it again. And he's like, Chris knows you, man. Literally every single time he's like, "Oh man, Marvin wants to talk about this." So yeah, I feel like I missed out on all that.
But we'll do a recap. We come across
a recap.
Sure.
It'll be okay.
Yeah,
my first time. So
you won't even know the difference.
Exactly.
Awesome.
So one of the things I greatly admire about you is the fact that you wear so many different hats, right? You love trying new things. I know you're working now on the WrestleMania kind of thing. How did that happen?
So my good friend.
See the clip?
I did see the clip.
Yeah.
Suplexing people.
I saw.
You saw us.
Yeah, I was looking at it. I was watching the live, and I'm like, what is she doing now?
What is she doing?
What doesn't she do?
That's exactly why I was.
I have a lot of people guessing. It's pretty awesome. Yeah. So my friend Kat, the other woman in the videos that you'll see, she's like my teammate in this. She is also on OnlyFans, and she's a model and a friend of mine, and she was also a pro wrestler at one time. And she doesn't do hardcore. So we're like, how can we work together where our fan base can like cross-reference and, and stuff like that, where my fans are being entertained and we're abiding by all your boundaries. So I was like, let's just wrestle. Let's wrestle each other. So that's what we did. And we just did it like this live little wrestling thing out of, just for fun of it, and totally learned the routine with her and flew in, did that. And I guess it just really took off well. And we got invited to do a live wrestling event at a 3-day comedy festival in Las Vegas, and that's what we're training to do. I don't want to say too much yet because I haven't been able to announce it quite yet. So that's what we're training to do. and it's going to be amazing. So if you like if you ever could remember like the 1990s like wrestling, the crazy
when wrestling was
flamboyant,
real wrestling,
like Randy Macho Savage and all that craziness.
Yes.
So kind of imagine that in a sense. We're going to have a lot of fun with it and enjoy it. And it's actually has gained even more attention by just going live and just these little snippets of me training, legit. And I'm also training with a pro wrestler. So he's out there. And I've been getting hit up left and right. Hey, would you like to come on my wrestling podcast? Hey, would you like to fly up to Winnipeg, Canada and come to this big live wrestling event? And so I told my friend Kat, I was like, I guess we're going to go on tour. We're going to do this.
That's so amazing.
So, yeah, we're going to have fun with it. I'm going to see wherever this takes me. I'm not saying I'm going to be like the next pro wrestler. Sure. That's not the goal. I'm having fun doing it. Yeah. If I ever got invited to, an AEW or any of those things,
just saying,
I will totally run out. I'll totally, it's part of entertainment. And what am I? I'm an entertainer. I've always been like a little entertainer, and it just fills my heart to do something fun. I'm active. I love to roughhouse. I'm a tomboy in that way. So, yeah, just marking all the blocks.
Yeah, it's crazy how just saying yes to one opportunity kind of potentially opens up so many other doors,
Absolutely. And also, like, when you look at comedy, wrestling, and porn, a lot of those fans overlap. It's crazy, but they do.
Really?
Yeah. Comedy, if you're a big fan of comedy, you probably have been a big fan of wrestling and comedy go with porn. And I'm always hanging out with comics.
Isn't Carlos a big fan of comedy?
He likes comedy. So I don't know about wrestling.
For sure.
I could totally see the comedy.
That's so awesome.
But there's a big overlap in that. So
interesting.
It's fun to play in all these different realms.
But do you also feel like you like exploring other careers and other like areas of where you can maybe build a new fan base, right? Because
why not?
Who knows?
Yeah, who knows where this to take me and what kind of fun I'll be able to have with this over the next couple months, years, or whatever comes out of it.
Yeah, one of the great things that we had talked about, and I kind of wanted to kind of recap as well and go back into that as well, is because we've talked about, some people that get stagnant in life, they pick a career and then they kind of just stick with it. And kind of what you found was that, I'm not 21 years old anymore, but there's still so much life left to live, and you're doing so many other things, and that's kind of what life is all about. And so many people kind of miss out on that.
Yeah, if like I don't like to be stagnant in any which way,
right.
And so a mind in motion, a body in motion is going to stay in motion. So I like doing all those things, and I've just started really. I've mentioned this to you before. I feel that I'm definitely living my life more aggressively than I was in my 20s. Not that I didn't do things in my 20s. Obviously, I moved out when I was young. I went into the military. I've done a lot of stuff at a very early age, but I'm definitely full throttle living my life now.
Do you feel like, because there's this big conception that especially like for women, once they hit like 35, it's just
you're done.
Yeah, you're just dead. Life's just downhill.
No.
Yeah. Like, it's just like it goes downhill, and it's like, well, you seem to just kind of thrive. How would you kind of
I want to tell you straight up, no, if anything, I've started to really thrive in my 30s.
Yeah.
I didn't join the adult industry until I was, 35.
That's when you started?
Yeah. I started later in my 30s. Yeah. And I think that's happening more and more now, especially with the MILF genre. Yeah. But I like to say I was a part of that. Yeah. But yeah, it's funny how society will kind of write you off in so many ways. Like, even the comments about the wrestling, isn't it 40, blah, 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 a little late to start. First of all, I'm having fun, bro. Yeah. And two,
it's not like professional.
I'm having fun. Obviously, I can do it because I'm actually actually doing the moves. So I don't think my age has anything to do with it. Yeah. If you're going to allow your age to stop you from doing things, well, you're already dead inside. You need to change that mindset.
But at the same, sorry, go.
I just have this mindset, like, to be fearless and to do things and not to be afraid to, mess up. I don't even like to use the words fail or mistakes or anything because everything is a learning experience and has been for me. Sure. So some of my biggest downfalls had led to my biggest leaps in life. 100%.
Yeah. How is it that you find so much time to do all these things? Because I feel like what keeps you young is how active you are. I feel like do you just like not say no to things, or do you just have this kind of curiosity into everything that you come across?
I say yes to pretty much everything. I don't sit there and I'm not. I mean, look, I got into the adult industry because I was just like, yeah, I can do that. Like, no problem. I can get paid for it.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I think I saw that.
That's how it started,
yeah.
right? I said yes to it. And look where it's led my life. I have autonomy over my own time. That's the big difference. A lot of people don't. A lot of people have to answer to a boss. They have to go in from 9 to 5 or whatever hours. I mean, no one's really ever working a 40-hour work week anymore. With the onset of emails, that changed everything, right?
Yeah.
So I have autonomy over my own time. So I get to dictate how that goes every single day. I have my rest days. I have my days where I'm just full at it. Mm-hmm. And I like opportunities. I like the ability to dive deeper into myself and see what else I can pull out of this, because I'm not done by any means.
But it's also so crazy because, like, people would say, okay, well, you know, you're not in your 20s anymore, yet now is when you're doing wrestling. It's years of you staying active and taking care of yourself. So, I mean, there's a testament to that, too, of you making sure that no matter what activity you do, I mean, there's like a physicality to it also.
Yeah, I try to exercise everything. I've exercised my body. I exercise my mind. I exercise myself spiritually. I exercise myself emotionally and mentally, like all the things, right? And I have been doing that for a really long time. I haven't done it all my life. I mean, I definitely had a good time in my 20s, just trying to figure out life. Where do I fit in? What are the things I'm going to do? I wanted to explore. I wanted to adventure. I always wanted control over my life and how I wanted to direct it. And I was able to achieve that to a point, right?
Yeah.
Now I can say that. And just trying to figure myself out in the 20s, just spend a lot of time on that versus now I have more time to, like, what are my passions? What do I want to do? Let's have some fun. I loved the challenge.
Yeah, you also feel like maybe you have more clarity in sense of, like, this is what I want, this is what I don't want.
More freedom.
Yeah, the free. Yeah, I feel very free in my life, which I don't know everybody else feels.
But it's interesting because because society will tell you your 20s great, you're young, and et cetera, et cetera. But we've talked to so many people who are, like, past that, who are in their 50s and 40s and 60s, and they say life really started for them in their 30s, and sometimes they even 40s.
Yeah.
And that's really when they're told. I talked to somebody at work, and he's a high level, and he's like, man, like, I had my best years in my 40s. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, really? Because from where I'm standing is 40. Even though I'm 30, 40 is, right there. But I'm like, society tells me that 40 is fucking dead.
I am literally, dude. Okay. Sorry, dude. So
this.
before I came over here, I was talking to so I guess this is kind of news. I should be gone by then. So I'm planning on quitting my job tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
So I'd be like, is this airing this Monday?
Yeah.
Okay, so I should be gone by then. So this would air perfectly. And right now, I was talking to her because I'm going to be switching. I'm going to be going over to a sales job, but I know deep down it's not what I truly want. I'm trying to figure out a way for, one, this to work, and also just try to find more autonomy onto what I can do on my own. So I'm like freaking out. So to our point, like, man, 40 years right there. So I was talking to my girlfriend. I'm like, I'm 30, and it's not that I almost feel like I don't know what I'm doing with my life, but I just don't know what's happening anymore. So I'm going to ask you, great, because you almost, I don't even want to say you started later, but you almost, you had a realization later. What advice would you give, like me, that I'm 30, right? And I'm in the feeling of, I don't know what's happening.
Honestly, I know that feeling, actually, because I remember there was times in my life where, it was actually when I was in North Dakota in the Air Force. I was young, obviously, at that time, but I remember just looking up at the sky and be like, what the fuck am I doing? I can't predict the future. Okay, this is cool. So let's take this for a ride and explore. Don't just be fearless about it, because you're choosing this. So commit yourself to that decision. Are you excited, and are you going to be disciplined about it? Because motivation is not going to get you there, but excitement and discipline will.
Yeah.
So, draw it out, write it out, and go for it. I think, like, the element of, not knowing pushes me a little harder, because then I can really direct myself to where I want to go.
It's like you're more in control of kind of the path.
It's scary, right? Diving into, like, the unknown, not knowing how you maybe pay your bills, or because that's what people say, like, oh, I have bills, I got to pay, whatever. But if you think about it, if you're gonna continue to do this job that you're not happy in the
You're
career path.
You're gonna be unhappy. You're gonna have a ceiling. Like I was, ceiling out on my salary that I was making at that time, and so I hauled off and quit everything. I didn't have anything lined up, and I took some time off, and then I answered a Craigslist, and then I joined the adult industry. So yeah, I was unhappy, and the reason why I knew I was unhappy because I was hitting that happy hour on Friday until Sunday night, and then you're getting anxiety Sunday night because you got to wake up Monday. You got to answer these attorneys, and you're like, fuck. This is not how, because you never see daylight. You got emails, because once email happened, then you really don't ever have time off work.
I think
People
it's
expect
also
answers from you at all times.
It's just also societal too, because now that we kind of crossed from 29 to 30, there's almost some set of expectations, and then we're in relationships. The time for them is different from ours, apparently. So we're kind of like having to speed up. So I guess it's all of that that's going on right now, where it's like, man, what is happening?
Yeah.
Take a deep breath. And also, like, what I do to clear my head is I go out in nature, dude. I leave my phone behind. I go to places where the Wi-Fi is not going to work and take my shoes off, go out in nature, go on a nice hike, smell the leaves, listen to them, and sit there. And the clarity starts to come in. I mean, maybe it's the mushrooms too that help.
That may help. That may help.
Accelerate things a little bit.
No, but I don't do that every single time. Don't take it. It's more of a microdose than anything. But the microdosing has helped me a lot for a lot of clarity.
I've heard that as well.
Yeah.
I've heard that as well. That it kind of just opens up a little bit, makes you more just connected.
If I'm like having a situation, I'm like, okay, how can I work through this quote unquote problem or whatever? Sometimes microdosing, all of a sudden it's like, oh, I never thought of it that way. Oh, let me implement this. And again, microdosing, I'm not tripped out. I'm still functioning, my daily activities. It's not putting me out. I'm not doing drugs like that.
It's more of like a rewiring.
It's a rewiring. There's all types of really good mushrooms that are out there that are also not psychoactive, that if you just incorporate them in your life, like lion's mane, there's tiger tail, all those things.
So the whole microdose thing is becoming kind of like a trend, right? People do it and they go into work and stuff like that. I've heard of some people, they kind of like, they're really good at managing it in a way where it can actually amplify and help them in their career.
Yeah, I mean, I could see you could probably go to work. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say go to work on mushrooms.
Wouldn't recommend it.
I'm not saying that. Yeah. When I do that, like, I'm also at my house. I have a different life. Like, I can adjust how my day's going to go. And just say if that microdose affected me differently, where I'm, feeling it.
Yeah.
That way I'm already home and I'm being safe about it.
True.
I
controlled environment.
Yeah. Stay controlled. Stay safe.
Anyways, we had let's kind of go back on track because we had talked about a segue on of how you said that you answered a Craigslist ad.
Yes.
And that's how you got into it.
Yes.
I know you've said it a bunch of times. Hopefully our audience hasn't heard it yet. How was it that you got into the industry?
I just, I was living in Miami. I hauled off and quit, the normal 9-to-5 type of job as a paralegal. Hated it, right? I was living a miserable life, or what I would consider a miserable life.
You just weren't happy.
Yeah, I just wasn't happy. So I eventually had to get a job to start paying rent and making money and stuff like that. So Craigslist back in the day was the thing. And I was like, oh, to be an extra for Dancing Bear. And I knew what Dancing Bear was because I was always a porn watcher. And I was like, oh my God, to see live sex? Yeah, I'll go do it. I actually just thought I was going to be in the audience that day. And so
it was never like a little gleam in your eye, like,
no, I just was like, oh, I'm going to watch this. Like, that's it. Like,
okay.
That was literally my first intention when I went down there. And I went by myself, took the ride, went down there, got dropped off, and and then they went through a laundry list of things you could do, like kiss your friend, show your boobs, and you make more money that way, right? And they were only going that day, and I thought about all the jobs I've given.
How old were you at the time?
I was like 35.
Okay.
So I've given plenty of
Yeah, you had experience.
I felt I had some good experience in my back pocket. So I didn't really sit there and think about it, but when they got to said they could make, this amount of money, I was just like, boom, yeah, why not? Let's try it, So I didn't get really nervous until the was like actually right at my face dancing with bare head. It was great. And then I just got a little nervous because I was like, oh my God, it's really going to happen now. And then I just went for it. And I just tried to remember all the stuff that I've seen before in all the movies that I watched. And okay, you got to get sloppy. You got to, got to gag on it a little bit, slap it on your face, do all the things. So that's just tried to, I basically mimicked all my favorite porn stars and just did a really good job. And I did such a good job that they asked me to be in a boy girl the very next day, which when you do reality, like Bang Bros, because I was in the Bang Bros headquarters back in the day, they usually like some space because, reality here, I was just a bridesmaid. And for me to be a MILF, like in MILF Soup, which was my very next scene, which was my very first boy girl, that was just unheard of back in the day because they just like to have the space. But I got booked right away.
That's crazy how you literally kind of just fell into it, kind of.
Literally.
Yeah.
And I had no idea 13 years ago that I would be sitting and getting interviewed and, have won awards and be I had no idea. I just was like, hey, I need a name and I guess this is my life. I'll try this. And here I am.
And you never look back. You're like.
Never look back. What, like I said it before, the autonomy over my own time and making the amount of money, that was always nice. It's not just about the money for me. It's more about the time because I wow, I can enjoy my day. I can take time for myself. I can be healthy. I can go work out. I can make the right foods. I can spend time with my dog. Just do life stuff. And that was the most attractive part.
And let me ask you, because we've had other adult professionals, whatever you want to call. What's the name that we could say?
You can say adult entertainer, adult star.
Adult star. Okay, that's a good one. We've had other ones here. And one of them had said how she had retired a little bit earlier. She kind of got in, she got out, and she almost, when she did her first scene, after she was kind of freaking out. I'm talking about one of the first ones that we had here. She was freaking out. She's like, oh my God, this is going to be out everywhere. Nothing I can do now, so I'm just going to go all in on it. And eventually she said that she had got out. Now she just does her own thing. I think she's only doing her OnlyFans now, her own private stuff. Yeah. However, you have remained active within. So how come you've made that decision to continue with the companies rather than you going off on your own?
I love being on set. I really do.
That's right.
I love the whole. Look, I'm in control of a lot of, and there's a couple reasons why. I love being on set. I like the whole feeling of it, and also I'm in control and have to make decisions about a lot of stuff all the time. That it's nice to walk on a production and I just get to do my thing. I don't have to make any decisions that day. That's true. Other than maybe, hey, do you like your hair and makeup? Yeah, I love it. Cool, let's go.
Do you get to choose what you do, or who you are? Or suggest or recommendations I want to do this, and then they'll set you up with.
Well, we can always put our ideas in. I've had some of my ideas actually produced, which was really cool. So I did The Voyeur Next Door, which is a 4-part series you can find on Brazzers. I wrote that down, the entire 4-part series. And I'm very thorough, if you can imagine what my mind. From characters who would play it, how they should dress, what the house should look like, everything. Even intro music should sound like this. Yeah. And they called me one day and was like, hey, are you interested in sharing any ideas? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. I wrote this down. And they actually asked me just for one scene. I was like, well, it's a 4-part series.
and they gave you all 4 parts.
And I was able to produce it with the director. They gave me a lot of, I acted in it and I got to be there. So that was really, really super cool. So in that case, yes, we get to.
That's so sick.
And I think a lot of people should at least I can also speak from my personal journey. I'm not speaking for everybody, but in my personal journey, going to set, anything I didn't want to do, I didn't do. And I said, no, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
If I felt uncomfortable wearing something, you have that, and a lot of times we're bringing our own stuff to set anyway. Right now I don't because I'm contracted with Brazzers. So a lot of times our outfits are provided for us. Maybe we bring our own lingerie, which is cool. Sometimes that's provided for us. But a lot of times you're bringing your own things. And if I didn't want to do something, I didn't do it. I'm just that kind of person. I'm going to speak up, because it's my body. It's who I am. And so we do have a lot of abilities to control what goes on. But if I'm being hired on a script that a character is a particular way, I'm being hired to play that character.
Mm-hmm. And are you still able to do your own thing off on the side? Or
oh yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah. I think OF and the ability for us to be on these own sites ourselves is just, they can't take that away from us at this point.
I'm surprised because you would think like maybe they have like a clause in your contract that says because wouldn't they want you to only on Brazzers because people will gravitate towards
when
that?
you're already on OF and you're making the type of money that you're making, that would be like you would have to pay me a heck of a lot more.
True.
And they're
To
not going to
offset
do that.
yeah.
But I will say that there are things like I could not work with other contract people. So I can't like say, hey, Angela, you and I, let's work for our OnlyFans because she's also contracted.
Oh.
But if
So there's things like that, but I can work with anybody I want other than the contract people.
Contracts. Does it have to be the contract with Brazzers, or could it be a different company?
As long as if they're contracted with MyGeek or that whole Brazzers umbrella, then I cannot work with them. Like Cherie and I, like we make great content. Well, before she was contracted, we made a lot of great fun content together because we're funny and we're ridiculous.
I can see that.
Yeah. But now because she's contracted, I'm contracted.
That's right.
Yeah.
Are you guys sad about that? You're like, oh.
Yeah, it's sad because I wish we worked together more. You know, like we have a good time. First of all, we're both really ridiculous and we're funny and we just, we're hot. So it's like it works out for us and we're just, we have a good sense of humor.
Do you guys keep in touch? Like,
oh yeah,
like, hey, how was like? Do you guys talk about like the scene sometimes? Yo, you won't believe this crazy scene I just had. You guys have that?
Well, like, I'm trying to think now. Do we like honestly like I don't.
Not that you.
Yeah, nothing like I really remember. We probably like on our time off, we probably talk about more about our personal lives. Okay. What's going on and what's happening. Yeah, like, when she bought her home, when I bought my home. Sharing things that you would with like any other normal friend.
That's awesome because we had her on and she was it was like a virtual call, but she was great. Sherry.
Remember?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, we had her on. Not too long ago actually.
It was funny when we both had blonde hair. People confuse us all the time as sisters. They even have. I think X-Biz actually did it once too.
Yeah. I can kind of see it.
It's funny. I think it's because our personalities, like you can see us probably,
bubbly,
getting
like
along really well.
Super, yeah.
Yeah, and I think the fans actually really like it too when they see us like also friends outside of work. You know what I mean? I think the fans kind of dig that a lot. I think
that's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah.
Do you remember, like, because you've been in the industry for a while, you're a big name, right? So
yeah. Now, can we call you almost like the Godfather of MILF? Would that work?
You could do that. That sounds cool.
Actually, pretty sick name.
Right?
The Godmother.
The Godmother of MILF.
Change your Instagram title.
Oh my God, I love it.
Because to your point, because I mean, you kind of said ruffling your feathers a little bit, but it's almost true. Like I almost feel like because when I think of the word MILF, I kind of think of you.
Yeah.
As
getting
one of them.
stuck in the washer and the dryer.
Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about.
Someone said it. Yeah, actually, someone said it recently to me. It was like, I think like when I think of that whole genre, I think of like you really started that whole thing.
Yeah.
Being stuck under tables, that's like a big fave.
Yeah.
Oh, I always, and when people like fans will send me pictures to sign, there's always one in the pile where I'm stuck under that table wearing, I think it's a yellow dress.
Yes.
Every darn time.
Yeah.
This is my favorite. Will you please sign it? Yes.
Yeah, that was
that's
one of the good ones.
Yeah. And you can clearly see I could get out.
Yeah.
It's like obviously.
It's like there's much.
I'm like, I guess.
I guess I'll go with it.
I guess she's stuck.
I can see it.
Sure. She can never squint. Like, no. Her stepson definitely needs to help her out.
Yes.
Do you remember how many scenes you've shot like over the years, or has it just been so many where it's a fucking
I have no
blur?
idea. Yeah, I never kept track. I never like 1, 2, 3. I just
like a list.
No, I was just like going for it,
I love it.
There's also times, especially like really getting into my career, when I was just like, okay, like I'm gonna really do this. I would say I was doing anywhere between 15 to 20 some scenes a month. That's a lot.
That is a lot.
Just like, and some days like you do a in the morning and then do hardcore at night, or maybe throw a girl in there.
You don't get it doesn't get tiring, or you get
the last one, yeah.
Who is the last one? Like, oh fuck.
Yeah, exactly. Get the hard ones done first. I don't do that. I don't do that anymore by any means. But unless it's like for my content, then like if it's a girl content, then I might try to fit in like a girl in the morning and maybe a boy girl in the afternoon. But our scenes are kind of gonzo-ish. They're a lot small. Like, it's not a big production. I'm not there for 4 hours doing one scene. We might. Jesus. Yeah. No, it's not sex for 4 hours. Yeah. It's like dialogue for 3 and 30 minutes of sex.
Really?
Yeah. It can be, yeah.
Is that how that kind of works?
It can be. I mean, like, Well, yes and no. I mean, sometimes the production, you got to think there's hair and makeup.
Okay.
There's photos. And then, yeah, if it's a long script, that script is mostly dialogue. Most of our day is going to be dialogue if there's a script. And then they only need a certain amount of time of sex. And that sex is like, so many minutes of many. Can I say all these things?
Yeah.
So many minutes of like. So many minutes of, reverse cowgirl, and
So
stuff.
there's like a script.
Some of them will be scripted out, even how the sex is.
Like it's kind of robotic because you're like, okay, this is
That
not
can
what
be.
I'm doing.
Those are not my favorite because I kind of look like I've been in the industry for so long, and more than likely my co-partner, my co-star, has also been in the industry for. I'm like, just let us do our job.
Yeah.
We know where the camera's by now.
That's also true.
I don't need 5 minutes of reverse like this. Like we can fit it all in. But they also, after a while, they'll also, trust you to do that yourselves. I don't really get told now how to do that.
Yeah.
I think those guides are really helpful for the younger folks that are coming in. They, because you got to learn where the cameras are when you're doing certain things, and also your body position. Like I know some of the body positions don't always look good. So
the
also
angles
the
sometimes,
angles,
yeah.
And this, that, and the
Yeah,
other.
yeah. You have to like open up to the camera. You can't be
Yeah,
closed off.
and
The
that's-
hair's got to be out of the way.
Hair's out of the way,
Don't
and
let it
like when you're
lie.
going down on a girl, like you've got to like be really super long tongue. You can't like sometimes I'll just dive in because I enjoy it, but you know what I mean. You got to think like they got to see all the action because that's what the viewer wants to see.
Let me ask you a question.
Sure,
Getting a little graphic here.
go
Because
ahead.
sometimes you see like when you're watching porn. I know you've seen porn too, bro.
Sure.
Yeah, no, like you're looking at me like I'm crazy. So when a guy's like masturbating the girl, guys, we say this. We've never gone this far.
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead, fuck
My
it.
You
God,
can ask me
I'm
anything.
nervous. When the
Explicit.
guy's like masturbating or like rubbing the girls,
Like DJ?
s-
You're doing like a DJ
But-
move over there.
but because that some do. But is that really enjoyable? Because
Not all of it.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I first, obviously, I don't know if porn's the right way to learn.
It's
but
not.
You take some notes and you're like, okay, well, it looks like the girl's liking this. So, as you start, getting familiar with women and stuff like that, when you're like, doing that, you're like, oh, it looks like she likes it. Fuck it. But your girl's like, ow!
It's
Like,
spinning
what
a
are you
set.
doing?
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. She liked it in the,
She liked it in the movie I saw today.
But, so no.
None of it. No. Like don't get your education from porn. If you want to know what, first of all, every woman, every guy is different.
Very
So
true.
I would always suggest start out with some communication and comprehension with your partner and find out how she likes it. Talk about it. Make it sexy. Go down on her. Be like, touch the outside first. Get everything going. Get the juices
So
flowing.
this is all show.
This right out of the gate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not gonna it might work a little bit, but also some people like a little bit more gentle, some people like a little bit more hard, some people some women like their versus licked, some like it more licked than sucked, some people like a little finger, some people like a whole hand. You got to figure out
Very true.
what your partner really enjoys, and sometimes that might be a little bit of sometimes it might be a little bit uncomfortable or a little shy to talk about.
Yeah.
You were going to go deep with this, but go deep with your partner and find out. Everybody's different.
Yeah. Especially if you're serious with this person, if you want to stay with
Absolutely.
them, because it would be a shame to kind of date each other and be in a monogamous relationship and then not really enjoy because you're afraid to kind of ask.
Yeah, afraid to ask. And I think they're I get a lot of questions in my emails from a lot of different people, whether they're in relationships or not. How can I get my girlfriend to squirt like you? And I'm like, first of all, is she even turned on? Because you got to think about that. And first of all, what we do in camera is a lot different than, a female ejaculation, what may happen at home. I can do with a natural, but it's where we're talking about a couple tablespoons maybe, or a little, extra.
Right.
What I do on camera is obviously coming from Pedialyte, filling the bladder up to an obnoxious level where it can I learned could actually collapse it. And then pushing that out with Great. And I'm like, that's not unless you like to be peed on, sir, that's not what you're asking me to tell you.
Really?
Because the reality is that the porn that you're watching, it's
aggressive.
It's a movie.
It's a
It's
movie. It's
fake.
entertainment.
Yeah.
It's done at a grandiose scale because it's what gets clicks. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, so just find out from how your lady likes it.
No, I'm good with that. I was just wondering in general because you see this and I'm like, does any girl even like this?
Or and I think the guys pick up that weird pulling out motion, and they don't know what they're doing because they're trying to get their girl to squirt, right? And they see this, and the guys are it's a little rough. It's a little rough. You don't need to be rough with it. You're coaxing it out.
This is a gentle. This is a
gentle.
All about the technique.
It's a beautiful flower down there. You don't have to rip the petals off. You know what I mean?
Very good way.
Very well said.
Thank you.
But do you feel like watching porn, especially especially for young guys who maybe just constantly watch it, could it be a detriment because they feel like this is what sex is supposed to be like, and then they find themselves in relationships where obviously the sex is not like the fucking gangbang that you've been watching for like the past fucking 3 years, that you used to.
You could set up gangbangs if you want to. Just find the right people.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? Could that be taken away?
I think that's emotional intelligence on that person. I think that's like saying, if you smoke weed, you're automatically lazy. That's not true because I smoke a lot of weed and I get a lot done. So, if you want to allow it to be a detriment to you, then you're going to allow that to happen. But if you can understand balance and understand reality versus entertainment, it's not going to be a detriment to you. If all you do is spend your time on social media and in your basement, then that's going to be a problem. You're not getting out there and living your life. Yeah.
Well, because I'm thinking like if let's say you ate, because we went over something. There was an article that came out not too long ago where a lot of young kids they don't have as much young men, they don't have sex like they used to, So
or they're not having sex.
They're not having sex
as much as they back then.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like what is causing this?
I think that's more of a social media problem because people are spending more time with their invisible friends on social media than actually having dinner and coffee, meeting people in real life. Back in the day, we didn't have that.
But also, someone could say, well, they have access to every kind of scene. So if they want that sexual gratification, they just gotta go, put that on, go on Pornhub and look that up, and instead of having to talk to a girl, that could also be kind of.
Any handheld device will do that. Anymore people can actually just go on Twitter to look at porn. So, I don't want to blame one thing or the other. I think that is just a really personal choice. Mm-hmm. I think we live in a society where everything can be at a grab on our screen if we really want it to be. We can have an AI write papers now, so. That to me is more a detriment to our brains than just, getting visually stimulated.
If you think about it, can we really blame porn when it's just accessible on the internet?
No, I'm not trying to blame it.
It's accessible on the internet, it's not so much, being addicted to. It's the fact that you're choosing to use the internet for that.
I think people are just not leaving their homes as much as, going out and doing things. I think a lot of people, like, social media has just become an addiction in itself. Our phones are almost. Look how we freak out when we can't find a phone.
Yeah,
my whole life's over. Oh my God, it's almost like you have a like I've gone through it. I've done that.
Yes,
I just don't see it as often. I think people like their little boxes that they put themselves in, and maybe they're just working harder. Maybe they don't find the time. Maybe they don't have the energy to put in, or maybe they just don't feel that they have the energy it's going to put in to be an active person in a conversation and be present. Maybe they're just like, hey, I just want to fucking be visually stimulated, have my whatever at night, and go to bed and wake up and have the next day the same, because maybe they are stuck in that
kind of
cycle. That cycle. Mm.
I don't know because I still think it's just like the fact of how easy everything is to be accessed. Because you can pick up your phone and you can. What do you do when you pick up your phone? You're probably doing a bunch of stuff for the podcast half the time, right? Yeah. So then, but you're choosing to do that. You're not choosing to just be, go straight into whatever porn website all day long and do that. I don't know. I think it's I think it just comes down to like some sort of like addictive personality. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's just the addiction that you choose.
Yeah, because we can be addicted to anything. Yeah. Food is an addiction for some people. Work can be an addiction for some people.
I guess it's the choices that you make and how you spend the time, but I would say, especially if you're young, you're more receptive to certain things than others. Like, we're older now, we're aware of this. There's some people that just they fall into it and they kind of don't have a way of kind of getting out of it. Maybe they have an addictive personality, or maybe they just, they feel lonely and they feel like, well, that's what I'm gravitating towards, because it's easier, because I don't.
Maybe it's easier for them.
I don't want to get rejected, or maybe there's certain social cues.
I think you're going to find different reasons for different people, because there's so many of us out there that are using different things for different reasons.
Yeah. No, I mean, I just wanted to kind of ask you your opinion on it because it's kind of made sense
Yeah.
to ask you because it's something that we've talked about with Sherry and as well, and so figured I pick your brain on it.
Yeah.
but no, because it is true. I mean, some people they get hooked up on it, but at the end of the day, personal responsibility lies with you. You know.
Yeah, you got to be self-aware and be just get really raw and honest with yourself, and that takes a lot of self-awareness.
Yeah.
If you feel like you're if I feel like if I feel like I'm spending too much time doing a particular activity because it feels good and I'm just getting my dopamine and my serotonin levels from there, I'm like, okay, I need to back off of that and find a healthier activity to be doing or change those behavior patterns and actions to something else that's going to be more productive and efficient and better for my life in the long run. But it's me being very active with my self-awareness because I could sit around and smoke weed all day if I really wanted to.
Shit,
but is that
me
going to, it's fun. But luckily I can be very highly functional, but I'm also the type of person where like, oh, that's not something I want to do all day.
Right.
I don't think that's healthy either. I don't care what spin you put on it. Anything that you're consecutively doing all the time is not going to be healthy. Again, it's about finding that balance.
Yeah.
Everything's an ebb and flow. You inhale, exhale. Everything that expands is going to contract.
Yeah, I like that. Wanted to ask you, being on the other side, because we were talking about how, it could be an issue for, men not being able to date because of whatever. Mm-hmm. But what about being on the side of being in the industry? What's dating like for you?
It's interesting.
Okay.
It's interesting as I think I've had some really long relationships in the industry while I've been in the industry, and one was really good and everything, and he was very mature about it. But I think it did bother him that his friends knew what I did, and I think that rode on his psyche a little bit.
How long was that relationship?
I want to say it was like 4 years.
Really?
Oh, that's a long time.
Yeah, my last one was 3.
Oh shit.
So yeah, like I've had some really long relationships. It's good. I think there's also there's an intimidation factor. I don't get approached very often, and I was like, why don't I ever get approached? Everybody's dating and stuff, and people are like, well, you're happy, you can pay. You're in societal standards. What does a man have to offer you?
Money.
I already have it.
Oh yeah.
I don't need you to pay my bills.
No,
I got
I'm saying that's
there's money, all those things. And what I require out of a person, it doesn't have to be a man either, like just a person. What I would require is, 100%, honesty, raw honest. A lot of people aren't willing to do that. Communication, comprehension, emotional intelligence, and you better be fucking funny.
You know what I think? What's intimidating, I think, is your confidence. Because you really are, I get the sense of you that when you want to do something, you fucking do it. Mm-hmm. And not only that, because I was reading up on you and I was watching, some of the podcasts that you were on. You're, I would say, probably one of the best actresses within the industry. Because like when you go, you perform, like you really do your stuff. So I feel like that's probably what it is, because most men, I guess, when a woman is confident, they almost feel like a sense of intimidation because they don't need you, because it's not like you need anything from them. It's you kind of have to want this person.
Yes, it's a big want. I don't need I'm not looking, and also that person would need to come to me fulfilled. I'm not looking to I'm not going to make you another person's not going to make you happy. So come to me happy, come to me fulfilled. Be busy, have your stuff going on. Don't always be available. Let's communicate. Let's have that. But that's what I enjoy in my life. If someone was too readily available all the time and up my butt, that would just get on my nerves.
Oh, so that's a common thing. Because we hear that most women that most women don't want a man that's, for example, so there's a lot of the algorithm, this it catches on to you. So there was some times that I was getting a lot of these date guys, because we have the dating podcast, whatever. Mm-hmm. So a lot of these dating tips, and they'd say, no, what if the girl replies to you, don't immediately reply to her. And then we'd be like, oh, that's so stupid. If you want to reply and you can't do it. But there is some sense of truth to it.
Yeah, there is some sense of truth. Don't be playing games. If you want to respond. But you don't have to be I'm gonna wonder what you do if you're constantly
readily available.
Hey, you want to be? Like, no, I need some time apart.
Don't drop everything that you're doing just to respond to me.
You can be be a responsible human being. Show me that you got your stuff together, that you can carry yourself well, and yeah, like that's a fully satisfied person. I like that. And have different interests. I like that.
And honestly, do you feel like because of your profession that it's created more difficulty to find someone like that?
I think so. I mean, I think it's just it's obviously it's another layer of something that someone's gonna have to be very secure in themselves and very confident in themselves and understand that what I'm doing for my my vocation, my career, well, that's work. Just like everybody else shows up to an office, I also show up to an office just because it's more physical and intimate. It's intimate in the sense of, plain general definition. I'm not having super intimate moments, if that makes sense.
Right.
I can draw the line there.
It's almost like the same way I would open a checking account at work is the same way you would give a blowjob at 12 p.m.
Like, okay, so what are we doing today? Da-da-da-da-da. Okay, we're going to do that.
Okay, I'll call you after.
Like, everybody's being paid on set. It's not like, my male talent showing up like, oh, I'm going to do this for free today. Yeah. No. Everybody that shows up is getting a paycheck that day. So they're getting paid. They're not there because they might like me as a human being. I'm a pretty cool person.
Hey, do it.
They might like me as what I'm saying is they might like me as a friend and a human being, but they're not there because, I get to bang Alexis Fawx. No, they're getting there because they're getting paid to bang Alexis Fawx that day.
So. Do you feel so when you walk into like on set, are you able to disconnect? And because there's some people say, well, you have sex with these people, there's some emotional bond that has to be that will be created. You don't have that?
I don't have that. I kind of look at it as almost like, how guys can kind of go cold into sex pretty quick. I kind of feel like that's the same. I'm not there to get emotionally attached to anybody. Yeah. I'm not there for my own personal time and my own personal reasons. I'm there to make a product. I'm there to do my job and make sure I do my job the best that I can so that it sells more. So I don't have any emotional bonds like that at all with any of my co-stars. I look at him as my other co-star 100%. And I also don't date within the industry. I'm going to use my term. I don't like to shit and eat the same place. If that makes sense. I don't know if I said that right, but there's like that quote.
I'm not sure where, Don't sure where you eat.
Yeah, because I just don't want any problems. And I not saying that there would be, but I don't like. What if you have a messy breakup or something like that? And I just want to be able to work with people. I don't want that added layer of emotional, mental. I come there to work. That's the way I make my money. I'm not there to. If I make friends out of it, that's great. I've made some really wonderful friends. But that's the extent that I'm always going to go.
Yeah, you'd kind of expect that someone within the industry would probably be the most understanding, which I think
we've come across a lot. We've had a lot of stars that were on the show, and they said, they date people in the industry, or maybe not actors, but they may be producers or directors or whatever. So that's kind of the common denominator we've seen.
So I'm just a little different that way. I literally like normal guys and normal people. I like that the person's doing something completely different than me, and it gives me I'm learning about something new. Like I don't need to talk about the same work that I'm doing with somebody.
But let me ask you this, because you had said earlier off camera, on camera, that you kind of like your space, you like your distance. Mm-hmm. Is that something that kind of was that you kind of created when you started porn because of you had to distance yourself from it? Or have you always been this way?
I've always been a lone wolf. I've always been able to go off on my own and do my own things and spend time with myself. I've never been a person that's ever been like, oh my God, I can't be alone. I know people like that. They're always in a relationship and it's never really good. Because they've never spent any time with themselves to see, because look, honey, it's not always the other people. Maybe you need to work on yourself, right? So, no, I've always been that way.
I love it. I was just curious because...
And I'm selective of who I let in. And that's only taken time. I've let some people I shouldn't have let in, and then you learn, and then you're like, okay, now I can take these things that I've learned over here.
So let me ask you this in terms of, like, we're talking about the topic of dating. When you say you don't really get approached, stuff like that, how do you usually meet people? Is there online dating? Do you approach guys themselves, or?
Oh, the last guy I met was off Instagram.
Really?
Yes.
No.
How was that?
I actually DM'd him.
No way.
Yes.
What happened? What happened?
And I didn't actually. Okay, it's kind of funny. It was a company, and I never saw a picture of the actual person, but they were like, "Oh, we're in Vegas and we're handing out some stuff," and it had to do with cannabis or whatever. And I let him kind of in the cannabis sector, and stuff like that. And I was just like, "Hey, I'm in Vegas. I'll pick up some swag or whatever. You want to drop it over by my house." I didn't know if this would be a lady, an old guy, young guy. I don't know. That's how adventurous I am. Anyway, here comes this person and knocks at my door, and I was like, "Oh, hi, want to come back?" So it just kind of went from there. I think like a lot of my relationships have just kind of happened. It just, I don't go chasing. I just allow things to happen. And maybe that's why they've stayed. And I've learned from those individuals. And
I think that's a good way of going about life. Like not forcing things. We've talked about that.
Why chase it?
Yeah.
Like if you got to force it and chase it, then maybe it's not for you. Allowing people to arrive into your life is a real true present. And it's really cool to have that.
So let's say for anyone that's in the audience watching this and saying like, man, I've always wanted a shot at Alexis Fawx. What would be the cheat code for them? So how would you want them to approach you, or maybe a little secret on what they should say in a DM?
First of all, just be yourself. Don't try to give me some weird ass line. Just, hey, be yourself. And just show that. I mean, I know that sounds pretty cheesy or whatever, but if you're gonna approach, I won't really answer my DMs on Instagram. So it's probably like the worst place to find me. I also don't meet up with any but fans on my OnlyFans either. The best approach would probably be approach me in person and be decent about it. Be you. It's
tough because they're gonna have to find you in person. So online, no one has a shot. Unless you already follow them.
Unless I'm already following them.
Yeah.
It has to be like someone interesting.
You hear that, guys? Try to either
get me to follow you.
Yeah. Try to figure out what.
No.
I don't know. I mean, it was just kind of odd that the other one happened from Instagram. That was just a coincidence, I guess. But I kind of got lucky on that one. But yeah, I don't know. I've never really.
I think they got to be funny.
Oh,
I
love to laugh.
You're in some comedian type of You're in some comedian or comedy thing.
Yeah, I have a lot of comedians as friends, or I've gained comedians as friends over time and stuff like that.
Weren't you a part of something? Didn't you produce something?
Yeah. So the Highest Fawx Show, which is now my podcast, used to be a comedy variety show that I hosted and produced in LA. And that's where, like, I've always loved comedy, and I always love laughing and having a really good time. So that was like a really easy thing to kind of get involved in. And how that all transpired was I went and saw Richie Leese in LA once. He was performing. My friend, who is a comedian and also has been my personal trainer for years. We went. I was in LA. I was like, hey, let's go see a comic tonight. And we did. And it was him. And he did a whole bit about the female bang bus driver, which was me. And he didn't know I was sitting in the audience because I didn't know, like, we weren't friends then. And I went up to him afterwards. I said, hey, by the way, I'm that bang bus driver that is in your whole skit.
No.
So that's how that friendship started. And then he had an opportunity, because he's produced a lot of comedy shows, come up with an opening at a place on Sunset. And he was like, hey, would you like to host and produce your own comedy show? And I was like, fuck yeah, of course. Yeah, I said yes again. Like, there was not much thinking after that. I was like, yeah, I want this opportunity.
Of course.
And yeah, that's how that all transpired.
That's
that's
crazy.
Yeah, say yes.
So you just got to say yes, and you got to have an open mindset and be ready to receive when the universe is ready to give it to you.
So there's that. Okay. So there's obviously porn.
Mm-hmm.
There's a little bit of comedy in there. There's wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And
the podcast.
Podcast.
There's coffee.
Yes.
Also.
Yeah, I have coffee.
And what's up with that? I was excited for that.
I know. I'll just send you guys
some.
some. I know. I'm sorry. They checked my coffee for drugs.
No, it's okay.
I swear I'm not.
Yeah. So what's up with that?
I love coffee, and I really kind of found my love for coffee by traveling and going to different countries and different cities, and I kind of found it fun to find a little local roaster in each of these little spots and trying out their coffee. And what I found really interesting, like, Italian espressos, like nice, and it just reminds me of chocolate almost, or like it's very velvety over your tongue, and it just tastes really good. It's also low. It doesn't hurt my stomach when I drink Italian espresso. And I love Costa Rican coffee. I love Costa Rican coffee because you can taste the banana and the cacao and stuff. Because anytime you grow, these things, whatever you're growing around it, the bees are pollinating, so you get the different flavors. It's really amazing. So you can taste coffee, like you can go to coffee tastings, like you can do wine. It's really cool. So you can learn and break down.
Where do you do this?
You want to come over?
Yeah.
No, I've never done a coffee tasting, but I would.
But you would, I guess you just do little
You
sips,
get little
right?
sips. Like you get a little spoonful, and you do little sips, and then, there's different ways you can do it. And
that is so sick.
And you can pick out the different flavors and stuff
So
like that.
cool.
So each, find out if you have a favorite coffee, find out where it's grown, and that'll tell you a lot,
That's what we got to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was literally thinking about that.
But I send my coffee. I'll put little notes if you want. So it's just really kind of cool. So I kind of fell in love with coffee that way. And I was, it was a Sunday. I was getting my coffee from a roaster, which is actually my roaster now. And I was smoking a joint in my hammock on a Sunday morning, just having a cup of coffee. And I was like, maybe I was high, but I was like, I should have my own coffee business. And that's how it started. So while I was high, I called George and I was like, hey, George, I wanted to have my own coffee business. How do we do this? And then, boom, here we are.
How long has it been? How many years? I
think I started the coffee around the same time as the podcast or comedy show. So I've had it for a while. We actually just went through a rebrand because I used to call it High AF Coffee.
Yeah.
But too many people thought I had weed in it because it said the word high, and it was just really high altitude and a slick way of putting AF in there. That was a little too slick. What I realized with marketing is you just gotta dumb it down. Yeah, we went way over heads, and I liked it, but so we just now put HAF, so like half coffee. So it's still got the HAF in there.
Okay.
We'll see. And a cool little mountain in the background. So when you see it, I'll send it to you.
So so you just said I want to have my own coffee.
Yep.
And
boom.
Coffee.
Then we're making it.
Hey, I want my own coffee.
Yeah, let's make it.
Boom.
Yeah, you can be the master creator of your reality at any given time. You just got to put forth the effort. It's not just about marking something down and putting it on your refrigerator. You got to put work into it, but you can make things happen. And, sometimes it's going to be a little bit of a struggle. And sometimes you're going to be like, shit, like all this. And just take it, learn it, and improve yourself and make it better the next time around.
Do you kind of attribute all of these other outlets to kind of the start of porn from when you said yes to porn? You feel like you got all these opportunities because of that start?
I think it definitely has helped me get these opportunities, of course. It's made a name for myself, but when you have the time that you can put forth the effort to these other opportunities, then you can take them on. Because even the coffee has now led to me having, I do a beer collab with a local brewer in Vegas too. We have come to Vegas. So it's called Cheers to Breakfast, and it's sold in Vegas, and it is a golden ale with my coffee in it. It is delicious, and it's not too strong of a beer, so you can sit down.
It's a golden ale. It sounds very nice and refreshing.
Very, very refreshing. We also have a Alexis Fawx blonde ale that you can get in Vegas now too.
That's pretty sick. Only in Vegas, or
only in Vegas? It's like a local, a microbrew in a sense.
Okay.
And so it's just these cool little projects that I get to work with people on.
Oh, that's cool.
Probably if I didn't, maybe I wouldn't have been placed in the situations that put me in front of these people if I wasn't maybe Alexis Fawx. So I can attribute that to a lot. But I'm also a go-getter.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much where I would have been held back if it held back at all.
But I feel like even if you didn't do porn, you'd still be
doing something.
I can't imagine you in an office 9 to 5.
I hated that. I felt like working in an office was so diminishing me of life.
That's what I feel like right now.
I didn't, 100%. I mean, how gross is it that you have to call and be like, hey, I'm not feeling good, and then be like, well, I only have 5 more sick days left. How is it that we can only have 2 weeks off work in an entire year and call that a vacation? Go fuck yourself. No.
I love that.
Seriously, like,
like
if I can encourage anybody, and I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not. It might be hard. It might be trying at times, and take those trying times and use that as your gas pedal to move fucking forward. Don't let that stop you. Use it as a gas pedal. It's not your brake. It's your gas pedal. Be like, I'm going to fucking crush this shit and crush it.
Then this is what I like about this shit, about what we do. Because, like, no, for real, we have some people on, and it's funny because, for example, anyone who would have seen that we were going to have you on, most maybe guys would be like, oh, at first maybe it's like, oh, how exciting. But then it's like, oh, it's, another one that does porn, right? But one thing that my brother told me, so I have an older brother, and he told me, he goes, you know what I love about your show? And obviously my brother, so obviously he's going to tell me some stuff. But he goes, I love how you're very genuine with how you speak to the guests to make them feel so comfortable to really just be themselves. Because we don't judge. This is an area for us to really understand where people come from and how they go about their kind of their life, which everyone I feel like is still trying to figure it out. And then that's kind of why we do this. I mean, we're 30. That's how I started. Like, oh, what are we doing? Yeah. And then we hear stories like this where it kind of, like, before I got here, I was nervous as fuck. Because I'm like, what am I going to do? Right? And now I'm here like, dude, like, at the end of the day, life will go on. Mm-hmm. You're in control of it as long as you fucking take control. But you have everything, like, in your disposal to get it done. Yeah. You just have to do it. So it's almost like this kind of, like, wind in me. Yeah. Every single time I come in here, this is a nice little space that we have here.
That's good that you're getting those feelings. Like, I just lost my mind and train of thought.
Yeah, you got excited. And
I got excited. I was like, oh, shit.
It'll come back.
It'll come back. But, yeah, I think it's a very exciting for you. I'm excited for you.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's, like, the good thing about this space, like, being able to kind of.
I know my thought. So I think a lot of people are afraid just to take that step.
Yeah.
It's the first step that might be the hardest, but just take it. If you take it and you miss the step and you fall a little bit, that's part of your journey.
Yeah.
So accept it, pick yourself back up, take another fucking step. Because you don't get to the top of a mountain by leaping. You get to the top of a mountain by taking each little step all the way up. Mm-hmm. And then you get to the summit and you're like, holy shit, look at the view from up here. Where do I get to go next?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're really good with words. You know what you gotta be doing? You gotta be make like, what are those, like, those gratification cards, or what are they called?
The cookies, like the little
the fortune cookies.
Yeah.
Not too, actually.
That's what I'm thinking.
I think you gotta get into fortune cookies.
I'll ask Asian Joe. He's got a tip on that.
Joe, figure it out. Get to work.
He gets so mad. He's like, another fucking job you're giving me?
Yeah.
I'm like, Joe, you have job security for the rest of your life.
Yeah. Affirmation cards.
Affirmation cards.
Affirmation cards, bumper stickers.
Yeah, I've been told a lot. I was like, you should be a life coach or write a book on it or something like that. Maybe I will.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know that.
Guess what, guys? Guess what's next?
Yeah, I would not doubt it.
Actually, I would. I just need to find a good ghostwriter.
Oh, ChatGPT. Probably.
Down the line. Yeah, for sure. How we've been talking about it. Do you have any?
Text that to me later.
Do you have any? Which I doubt you do, but do you have any regrets looking back in life? And if so, like, what were some of the moments where you like? And then it doesn't necessarily have to be porn. It could be. You said you used to be married. Didn't work out. Was there a regret that we like, man, I wish I would have tried a little bit harder?
No. I didn't want to try any harder. That was no for two things. No, I didn't want to try any harder. No, I really don't. I mean, maybe if you would have asked me younger, I might have been like, I might have regretted this. But when I really look over my life, I don't have any regrets. It's not that I haven't made bad decisions. It's not that I haven't had hard times. It's not that I don't have bad moments. I just don't look at things in a negative perspective. You know, I think we were touching upon that a little bit earlier. Like, my whole, like, mindset's different. Just, and it's just taken a while to, be more self-aware and understand, like, your self-talk, how you're talking to others. If you're first of all, start it with your self-talk, because how you're talking to yourself is actually how you're talking to others. If I find myself, like, being negative or over-analyzing something, I stop myself quickly. I'm like, okay, why is this created this reaction from me? I try to figure out the root of the problem, not just mask it with some things, cover it up with some symptoms or something. But words are how you articulate things is really important. Words are like magic spells that you're putting out into the universe. So if you want good things to come, you got to start talking it in.
That is so true. Well, you said something that you touched up on, and I just wanted to highlight that. You said how you talk to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And I once heard somebody say, is like, because a lot of times we talk so much negativity into us.
Damn, why did I do that?
Yeah, I messed up. I shouldn't have
that.
that. And then so you have to ask yourself, would you talk to somebody like this that you love? Would you talk to your mother like that, girlfriend or wife? If the answer is no, why do you talk to yourself like that? And
why
so
are you doing it?
that you have to get out of your head. You have to get out of your own
Absolutely.
head and start talking positive into who you are and be proud of the accomplishments and even the failures,
Yeah.
If
And
you want to call them that
be
way.
accepting of yourself. You're, no one's perfect, and be accepting. And I'm not saying like be so toxic positive about yourself. Like don't, feed yourself bullshit.
Yeah, sure.
Be honest and be super self-aware of like when you're, hey, like what's going on here? Why am I drifting this way or whatever? But be accepting, just accept yourself for who you are 100%. I look at like my dog just loves me for who I am, no matter what I am that day.
He just loves you no matter what.
He just does love me.
Yeah.
So love yourself.
He just is cute.
Thank you.
But yeah, be 100%. You gotta be accepting of yourself, and that doesn't mean that you're just gonna be like, well, this is how I am. I can't change. No, be like, okay. And I hate that. Well, this is just the way I am. It's the I'm a Cancer. This is how we act. No, shut up. You're an asshole. No, just kidding. It doesn't mean you're just gonna live that way, but like be accepting, be gentle.
Yeah. Be loving.
Be loving to yourself. Be loving. I mean, living and being human and just dealing with life and others and everything else that are around us it's a trip. It's a trip when you really think about it. We're so lucky to wake up every single day. And
another thing, how
I'm very grateful for the smallest little things I can be grateful for. And that's something that I think I developed as I got older, is learning to be grateful. I'm probably more grateful for the smaller things than I am for the bigger things.
But go ahead. That is so important because those small moments they add up over time. And when you go through life only trying to look for the big things, you're missing out on so much. And it's funny because I was listening to somebody yesterday and they were saying difference between happiness and joy and how you shouldn't chase happiness because happiness changes. You want to have this, then you have it, and then you want something else, or you don't have it, then now you're sad. And what he said was look for joy, the little things.
Yes.
Because those are the ones that define who you are, right? If it's sipping that, espresso in the morning, right? Or walking your dog and then looking at the sunset, holding the loved ones, the people that you care about. These little things that give you joy. That is what you want to strive. And
joy feels good.
Joy feels amazing.
Joy is what's filling up your cup, man. I love moments where I'm laughing and crying at the same time. Those are joyful moments. And I'm lucky enough I can sit here and say I get to have those quite often. And I get to have those with myself, and I get to have those with friends. And I'm in a very fortunate place in my life. So.
When would you say that life really started for you?
I would say life really started for me probably in my 30s. I went through a situation that really had me stop and take a hard look at myself, what I was doing, who I was surrounding myself with. It was the catalyst of me truly changing my behaviors into a much more, and I'm not saying I'm going to sit here and say I'm the healthiest person out there. I'm not. I have fun. But it's definitely made me, I think that was probably my biggest catalyst when you have to like look at yourself and I went through it. And it was a struggle. And I was like, what the hell am I going to do? I didn't have money to pay food. I didn't have money to do this. I was sleeping on couches. I went through like this weird phase where I was like, oh, I have to change. So what did I do? Is I put forth every single part of me in an effort to change everything about me, change my friends. I just cut off everybody, moved, got myself situated and got myself a place, just really focused. Okay, I'm going to heal. And once I started healing, I mean, I remember crying like, it wasn't like a boohoo. It wasn't like a boohoo cry. It was like the gut-wrenching release. And I needed to do that. And after I did that, then I really started laughing. And then I started really looking and really enjoying life.
Yeah.
Because I was able to release it and got rid of it. And I didn't have anybody else around me dragging me down. I had myself, and I was able to pull myself out of that. And that, to me, was probably, that was the biggest catalyst to really kind of kick myself into a new gear, a new shift.
Yeah, they say that once you hit rock bottom, the only place you can go is
up,
skyrocket.
To the top.
To the top,
So
yeah.
It seems like
Yeah, so, like, I'm not going to, like, my life hasn't been always fairy tale, but I definitely, you know, I've earned where I am today, for sure. But it's also a constant work. I don't just sit back and be like, I just made it. No, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not like that either. Well, I think it kind of shows. I'm not like that by any means. Plus, I'm also, you know, realistically, all of it can be taken away in a moment. All of it can be taken away in the moment. And what I've learned by not having anything is I can survive and be happy with nothing. So I've learned a lot of lessons throughout my life, and I've applied those lessons every single time I've learned them. So that's why I don't have any regrets, and it really helped me change my mindset. Mindset's huge.
I love this. You're an amazing human being. I love. Yeah.
Second.
Don't get me all teary,
Dude, it's just you're living proof of somebody who's ambitious, hardworking, driven, and you have so much sense of humility, and you're right, and you're an awesome person. I don't even know what to say.
No, it really is. Like,
Thank you.
Because what I think what we're seeing here, it's and I think it's a space that we create here with every guest that comes in here.
Yeah.
We allow people to really show who they really are, to really show their genuine kind of side. And I think it's a good job that we do, honestly, because every single time that we come in here, that's what we do. Like, we really come in with, you know, to be real, raw, genuine, because we come in here in a space for us to learn. And we come in here open-minded. And so how some people may watch us like, oh, no, I would never. You can't listen to this person. For us, everyone has a story. Everyone has something that we can take from. And we have individuals like yourself and that really came in here and kind of, you know, I don't want to say shocked us, but really
blown us away.
Yeah, in a sense. Yeah. So
wow, guys.
Yeah, thank you. Really,
thank you so much.
I'm just myself.
Yeah. No, I had one well, just to piggyback off of that, and then I had one more question.
Sure. No, yeah.
I can talk all night. I'm good.
I love it because a lot of people. They see your name, they see your face, we'll have you on the show, and they think all we're gonna talk about is like fucking banging and shit like that. Which, you know, whatever. There's nothing wrong with it, but I do want it to go a little bit deeper, no pun intended, and and kind of go below the surface and kind of.
So you wanted to penetrate the topics a little harder.
Yeah, exactly. And so I feel like we did that in a way, and I'm very glad to have had you on today. I had one more question. And then, I don't know, of course, I had anything. Do you feel, because we're speaking of, you know, obviously you're in the industry, speaking of sex, there is a lot of people, there are a lot of people who struggle with, they're with somebody, there's maybe a lack of sexual compatibility, and that could be detriment for a lot of relationships. Do you have any advice or any type of insight on that? Like, let's say you're with somebody and maybe you want to have sex more than your partner. A lot of times that maybe the guy could also be the woman. Is there a way for someone to kind of navigate around this and kind of overcome that that difference, right? And so how would you go about that?
You're going to have to open up to your partner.
Yeah.
There needs to be a conversation and comprehension, and also realistically, maybe it's not going to hit well on the other ears, and maybe realistically, you're not supposed to be in that relationship.
Because sexual compatibility is so important,
It
right?
is. I think, yeah. I'm not saying it's the only founding factor, but it is a factor. And I mean, I think that's why you have people that seek outside of the relationship, whether they're cheating or they're being open and honest about it. Just depends. And I think, like, definitely probably, I don't know, I'm not a doctor or anything like that, but definitely coming from the cheating end, like, maybe they're just not, comfortable talking to their partner. Maybe they brought it up to their partner and their partner freaked out and yelled at them about it. Now they're feeling shamed. So what are they going to do? They're going to seek it out elsewhere. Maybe they're going to pay for it. Maybe they just seek it out freely from somebody that's near them. You know what I mean? And that's a communication and comprehension breakdown. If you cannot sit with your partner and have these intimate, raw discussions, why are you sitting in that relationship? And then those raw discussions don't have to be just about sex, but like, why are you there?
Yeah.
I mean, this is the person that you quote unquote love.
Yeah.
This is a person that you're quote unquote maybe living with. You're partnering up with. You're not just having sex or just, hey, it's a situationship or something like that. This is the person that you're telling that you love. Then you need to be able to, be open with who you are.
But it could be scary,
It's
telling
gonna be
someone,
scary.
I like this.
It should make your heart pound.
Yeah.
It will make your heart pound. And your hands might get sweaty and stuff like that.
Something else.
Huh?
No.
Your heart will pound. Your hands may sweat. It may be very uncomfortable. Your butthole might pucker. All those things. We've all been there, okay, guys? Oh, shit. And that's okay too, and it's okay to be vulnerable. Like, I think what the problem is, are you afraid to be vulnerable? I mean, the person that you love, you should be able to be as vulnerable as you want to be in front of them. Cry, not just get angry, but open yourself up completely to that person, and be realistic. That person may not dig what you like, and maybe that's not the right person with you. We get attached to these weird things, and I think it's those weird attachment issues that gets us in relationships that we're in for way too long, and we don't need to be in those relationships.
That's what I was gonna say. I feel like people are just not picking the right people, and so then we feel like we need to be with the
I have to be with somebody. I don't want to be alone.
It's not even that. Yeah, true, but it's also in the sense that then you pick someone that's not meant for you, and then you try to make it work with this person that's not even supposed to be there in the first
Not even
place.
supposed to be there.
Yeah. No. But what if you pick someone and that's great, but afterwards you discover, well, maybe I enjoyed this, right? But at the moment when you started dating, you didn't know.
Well, I think relationships and people should evolve, and that doesn't mean that you have to stay in love.
And
Doesn't
explore.
mean, and hopefully you've partner up with somebody that's going to be open to exploring these new things that you found out that you like.
But that's my point.
Yeah.
That if you're going to be maybe someone who's into this more explorative type of persona, you'd want to find someone that's going to at least match that. So if you're going to just find anyone because they're hot or she got a fat ass, and then if that's the reason why you're dating them, and then they don't want to explore, well, why are you with them?
Yeah.
You're just with them because they have a fat ass.
Yeah.
So they're probably not the person that's meant for you. I mean, sure, maybe it looks good as arm candy. Maybe she does have a nice ass.
Maybe it fits your family's expectations, but it doesn't mean it's right for you. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many things you can unpack with that. But I think people have some really unrealistic attachment issues.
Yeah.
And or they feed into like, well, like I'm this old, I gotta be partnered up with someone. I've got to look at this relationship. I've got to do this. I got these time constraints. Just throw all that shit out the window and let your intuition guide you a little bit. We're getting whispered to by the universe all the time. Like, just let that be open to see how your heart is really where your heart really wants to go. And if you're open with yourself and listening to that, it helps open you up with your partners as well.
I love that.
Yeah, because think of people if I'm just like, imagine if you're, especially I would say women, because sometimes they feel like there's, oh my God, if I'm dating, someone, I got to get married by a certain time.
Have a child, all this weird.
By this time.
Yeah.
So then, I mean, just imagine if you are dating someone, right? And let's say year 2, 3 go by, 4 go by, and then you're like, well, like, what do you do at that point? Because you almost feel like, okay, let's say, for example, my girlfriend, she's 30, just like me. And let's say in 2 years, I love her. Everything's going to be working out. Everything's going to work out fine, guys. But for example, anyone in a similar situation, then a couple more years go by and, oh shit, it's not working out. But I'm 32 now.
What am I going to do?
To start over? Nah, most people would probably say, I'm just going to stick it out because I don't want to waste any more time. Just to start over. So then I can kind of see how some people can kind of fall into that. But then to those people, what do you say to that?
But to those people that are like, oh, I just have to stick in it.
Yeah, when
they're not being honest with themselves. Why are you going to be why are you forcing yourself to be miserable when you have the full ability to change that up?
Yeah, I kind of see it almost as, would you rather, because time's going to go by anyways.
Yeah.
Would you rather let that time pass being miserable?
I don't want to be miserable at all. I would have to pick it up and be honest. I recently had to do that with my last relationship. I was like, I discovered some stuff and I was just like, this shit isn't adding up. Sat back, observed what I needed to observe, and I was like, you know what? And I do that shit in silence. Let me just tell you, if I cut you off and I never speak to you again, you fucked up.
Damn, but you don't think you should
no, fuck them.
No?
No, not for what
They probably deserved it.
But sometimes you need to remove yourself. Now, if it's a nice good, like if it's you guys,
amicable,
it's not a bad situation. Yeah. But you just feel yourself, then it's okay. And sometimes, you know what? Sometimes you do have to clip it clean, but be honest about it, just to give people healing time. Don't feel that you have to be friends with somebody right away just because you broke up with them or something like that. But you know what I mean? Like, just it's going to be situational and also that type of relationship that you may have. But yeah, if someone's doing something that you don't like, cut that motherfucker off. I'm very good with that. Like, I think the only attachment issue I have is with my little fur kids because I love them so much, and I hate that they're getting older.
How old are they?
Well, JoJo's 13, and then I have Loki, who's 10. And then I have a little rabbit. Who knows how old she is? Because I rescued her off the street.
Christina likes rabbits.
Oh, you do?
No, Christina, my girlfriend. Yeah.
So we have a card game that we just came out with now.
Down.
Okay, cool.
Called The Basics.
Okay.
And kind of what we talk goes actually very well into, not the dark part, but what we talked about before.
Yeah, it was I warned off topic.
Yeah,
but,
sorry.
Because I felt that too. I'm like, what's it like? Anyways.
Sorry. So The Basics is a card game that is designed to kind of, let's say, we meet and, you start dating. What do you like? What do you don't like? Your qualities, your values, certain things to make sure that you really are compatible with the other person.
Essentially, these are like questions that if you just started dating someone, you should ask. And if you've been dating someone for a while, you should know the answers by now. So these are real questions that you should be asking to really get to know the partner, to make sure that this is someone you want to be with.
Yeah. So
people should get these.
Yeah.
Start having
Thank you.
It'd be a great way to open an open conversation and communication to make
That's
sure.
the goal. Yeah.
Exactly.
In a fun way where people might, because sometimes having a serious discussion can put people a little bit on edge. Women they wouldn't, but this might open up a really fun way.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like that. That's awesome.
All right, well, I'm going to ask since I got one.
All right.
Okay. So this one's more for, again, this would be for partners, but we're going to ask it almost if it's specifically for you. Okay. So the question reads, what was your favorite date night we ever had? But in this sense, what would be the best date night that you've ever been on?
Oh, a good question. I think the best date night that I could be on is definitely, I like conversation over food. I know that sounds really kind of traditional, but
It
doesn't have to be the most expensive restaurant. It doesn't. I probably if we were dating for a long time, then I would want to come over to I would love a home cooked meal. That, oh my God, you can make food. You're getting in tonight, baby. No, but I love I guess essentially breaking bread with people, because when you're eating and you're getting satiated, you feel good. Conversation is more open. I think people are just more open to that. So, yeah, something that we can talk and get to know each other better, and maybe take it from there.
Do you think, I'm glad you brought that up, because we've asked it before, what should be like the first date? And some people will say, well, you really do have to wow them, take them somewhere nice, fancy, show off, do all the good stuff. However, we feel like, especially if it's a first date, it should be more about creating an environment for two people to talk, to really see if this is worth 100% going on that date.
Yeah, and like some of these restaurants, these fancy bullshit restaurants are loud, or people are annoying you all the time. Pick somewhere, first of all, find out what kind of food y'all like, and go somewhere where it's a favorite restaurant, or somewhere, that you can talk quietly and enjoy the, company. Not get wasted, no club, no, that can lead to too early of things that maybe you just need a little bit more time to talk it out. But I definitely say conversation should be in that first date 100%.
Do you think if, let's say, somebody were to invite you on a date and it wouldn't be like a dinner, would that be like a deal breaker? Would that be like,
something interesting, that brings out our personalities, that again, going to create, an environment where we can talk and learn, and not, just have a good time.
I love it. Perfect. I have one. So, yeah. Which significant other before me had the biggest impact on you? And
I
why?
thought I was going to end differently. Had the biggest what?
Maybe that's something we should add on the next one.
That'd be a little nerve-wracking if that came
On the date, yo.
I know, exactly. Had the biggest impact on me. Now I can't even
Not
say
like
it.
that.
Hey, yo.
Oh, good question.
Is there somebody that you can think of?
Well, I think actually even most recently, even though it wasn't a it was kind of like a negative situation and what happened with my last relationship, not to get into the details about it, but what I learned from that, from the portrayal and the lie, like what I learned from all of that, was so beneficial for me. So that would be probably very impactful.
Like to build
taking
character?
something, like, oh, okay, what to recognize, to build, what I definitely don't want in a relationship, and what I do want in that other person, and what it, like, kind of. Now I can have a good definition of it.
Yeah.
Where before maybe I was a little bit more open, but now I'm like, nope, not going to put up with that. That's okay. This is not okay, and be a lot quicker at it. Not just be like, oh, okay, maybe he's just having a bad day. No, he's an ass, so it's okay.
I think a lot of people look at failed relationships as a wasted time, when in reality it's an opportunity to see what works for you, what doesn't work for you.
Learned.
Yeah.
Lesson learned, and people don't see the value in these lessons.
Yeah, no, I saw a huge value in that, and it impacted me in like a bad situation, but it impacted me in a very positive way.
Right.
Sometimes hard lessons you got to take at the chin, but you're going to learn so much. And it's okay to have failed relationships. I mean, again, I hate using the word failure, but like
experience.
People are meant to come in and out of our lives. And again, it goes back to the attachment. If you just, you don't have to get super attached to people. People are meant to go in and out of our lives at different times. And some stick around a little bit longer than others, and some are quick.
Yeah, I love it. That's what I said. I think it's a good way to kind of.
So with that being said,
thank you so much. It's time to wrap it up.
it's time to break up.
Yeah.
It is time to break up. I know it's not you, it's us. We
so
like
much.
to end it with what we call a final thoughts. And this final thoughts can basically be something that you would want to tell your younger self, or maybe just a message that's really important to you that you live by, that you'd like to share with the world. You can take a moment. Editor knows what to do. But once you got it, you can share it with the camera, and then just, kind of sell yourself where they can find you, XYZ.
Okay. Wow, there's always so many things I could say to my younger self. But to keep it, or to anybody, be fearless in living your life. Don't be afraid to say yes, and just live fearlessly. Just go for it, full throttle. You have this life to live. Do not stand by and watch it go by. Do it.
Beautiful.
I'm fucking motivated.
Dude,
Do you feel ready?
I'll run through a brick wall right now.
Me too. Let's go.
So obviously, we know you.
Where to find me?
Yeah, sell yourself.
Awesome. So if you want to follow my social media, Instagram is Alexis Fawx Live. That's FAWX. Twitter is Alexis Fawx. There's the one and onlys out there. Make sure you're following the right one. If you like the more naughtier things, you can go to my foxfans.com. That's my link to my subscription site to the OF. But you can pretty much Google me and find me anywhere. And if you come to Vegas, try my coffee, try my beer, do all the things.
We'll put everything in the description.
Yeah.
And,
Very, very dangerous Googling you.
Make sure
Have
you
fun. Don't do it with your phone open in public.
your mom next to you.
Yes.
Exactly.
Put the safe search on, recommended, before you do that.
Don't go to the Apple store and put it on computers, please.
Go.
That would be fucking funny.
That's awful.
With that being said, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much, Alexis. You were tremendous.
Thank you guys so much for having me. I really
Thank
greatly
you.
appreciate it.
Thanks so much.